Hello. Greetings once again, everybody out there. Impromptu, I know I tweeted yesterday that I was calling it because back pain and all that sort of jazz. But I miss hanging out with you guys and girls and everyone else who tunes in to join. Rob's first. Woo! Well done. You win tonight's prize, which is a woohoo! So yeah, I've literally just rushed through dinner and grabbed some stuff just to hang out with people because I really enjoy Saturday Night Reaver and chilling, hobbying, and stuff with everybody that likes to drop in and say hello. Yes. Yeah, no, if if it gets too much, I will. Don't worry, I will pull the plug. But yeah, it's so I'm just I'm just tweeting this out. Against medical advice, I'm going live. That'll do. Or that's all the hashtags you got to put in as well, because it's important to include everybody that I want to include, because everybody I include are awesome, and that is my favourite phrase when describing anything that is amazing and fantastic, because yeah, it sums up pretty much everything. And we are an inclusive and friendly people here. Oh, no, I don't want to put that. No, that's wrong. No, no, no. Spell, spell, spell. Wrong, wrong, wrong. That'll do. Alright, that's enough. Right, there you go. That's out in the wild, at least. It's gone. So, yeah, I've got stuff that I can try to paint tonight. I have beer, which is always good because it helps numb the pain, man. It helps numb the pain. And yes, camera. Yeah, I have a known time to deal with anything in camera related. Don't know why it just stopped working. It was just one of those things where it just no, not having it anymore. You can't have the overhead. So it looks like we're probably going to have to buy a new one. Although Glennie is here, who is the super duper dude who's in charge of computers and stuff. Maybe he can have a look at it tomorrow and fixate it and make it magical, and everyone can be happy at last, because that's important. Your happiness is my happiness. And yes, I know through conversations elsewhere, Rob is working on stuff that he cannot discuss. So no point asking you what you're doing. So, right. Let's get that on there. You just spilled your drink. Well, that was silly. You silly sausage. I can't believe it's been like a week. It's only been a week since last we met when, well, Ignatum and Solaria went and kicked ass. Which I was actually thinking about this earlier on, because obviously with you and Engine Phil, my godly brothers, at Beachhead when I was Phil, you know, we kicked ass there as well, and then we kicked ass like me and you, and you got shot at as well. Yeah, unlike Phil, who spent an entire turn not being shot at because I was getting all the attention. Um, so yeah, that was fun, to say the least. But yeah, it was just good that in both games, me and Phil, we won our game hand down. It was like 5 kills to 1, and that was done at the last innings. Um, but our game that we was participating in on last Saturday at the Greetings from the Warp walk, um, was really, I was worried to start with because although we had 2 mana pools, so I had an Axiom mana pool. Rob was using a Precept mana pool loader setup, basically. Not that we was using mana pool rules, but we had basically filled out those. And we were up against 4 Warlords, a Reaver, 2 Hounds, and Warlords are very intimidating because they can take a lot of damage and they can dish out a lot of damage. But we were very, very lucky. I'm underselling us. We played our game well. We used movement to affect their game, and we done really well. And we got a nice amount of kills each between us. So that went on to the kill banners that we have as part of the Titans Owners Club. And yeah, we took everything barring a Warhound, which I offered to accept their surrender, which the person playing it initially said, yeah. Well, he didn't even say yeah. He just just left it. But the actual owner of the Titan, in our sort of Titans Owners Club chat later on, said, I would never surrender. And so I said, well, if you want, I'm happy to kill you. And I rolled I rolled a dice of fate. And although this Warlord with Warhound did manage, and to be honest, it was at point blank range, doing targeted shots of my wounded body on my Reaver Raptoris. It, with the Vulcan Mega Bolter, scored 2 direct hits. So it's like, it had +1 to damage at there. Sorry, no, it had +2. Sorry, it had +2 to damage. So it took up the last critical, the last, what do you call it, structure, and was onto the first critical track. Unfortunately for him, his turbo laser failed. He rolled like a 4 and I think it was like a 2. So he missed with that. And from behind, it got its shields removed by Donna Magna in the squadron, and followed up by the most legendary Tacit Venatrix with its plasma blast gun, that from behind was doing a minimum of 14 on the damage, because 10 for maximal fire, +1 because it's shooting at the same target because it's part of a squadron, so that's 11. And no, 13. Yeah, 13. No, yeah, 13. Sorry, 13. Yeah, so yeah, maximal fire, squadrons, that's 11, +2 for being from behind, so it was 13. And it rolled a 1, a 4, 5, and 6. So, so yeah, 3 criticals to a body area, and that's it. It's gone. It's yes. So it was a short run thing, and yeah. So it was fun. It was a great walk. 63 Titans participated, and you was getting lots of people walking past and just looking at the battlefield with all that awesome resin crack there. And the colour schemes, like, everyone really sort of puts that extra effort into making sure for the day the Titans are looking their best. And obviously, I was lucky because next to Rob's is just absolutely amazing with his bases as well. We just look good. We just look good. But yeah, we had a great game, and yeah, it wasn't too bad. Yeah, again, goes to show again how yeah, Rob Rob's two warhounds engaged two Legio Fury warhounds in vicious, bloody close combat. Came away from them um, still with two Titans, one of them badly mauled, and then they went running into a warlord for Legio Zestobiacs. Beat each other up a bit more, and the Zestobiac player Sim, his other warlord, which was a move which, to be fair, was actually quite a cunning move on his part, because his warlord that Rob was engaging wasn't in the best of conditions already, so he fired his other warlord at the warhound engaging said warlord, and it died. The warlord died. The warhound didn't. It survived the volcano hits. It then survived the subsequent meltdown or magazine detonation that went off, and around it, the other two warlords that were standing nearby that got hit. One of them, which was in perfectly good order, basically just went and lost so much damage. So it was actually quite fun. Yeah, so Sim wasn't having the best of days with the dice rolls. Right, not bad. Time to get back in some painting. I showed my daughter the difference between our Titans at the A2 table behind us and part of my warlord on their table. What was the total kill tally? Right, so for that particular game, because I don't know what the overall. I believe there, because the table was split into three. So at the top, that was a loyalist victory. The middle was a traitor victory, from what I've heard. Ours was an overwhelming loyalist victory. Like, my Titans were in their deployment zone, undamaged. Two warhounds undamaged, and the only Titans that I had that was damaged was Raptoris, because he did get a lot of attention because it was right in the middle, and with two melter cannons, it does draw attention from other Titans. So it did get a lot of loving, I shall say. But yeah, if the games were to go on and we was allowed to progress, then I and Rob would have definitely turned and moved into the centre, because we were, all shields are up, apart from Raptoris, who would have repaired. Well, we did emergency repair a little bit, but lost. He didn't bother with the shields because he just needed to get his reactor down. But yeah, we would have totally gone up the board into enemy territory, and yeah, it would have been a bloodbath. And we both know this. And I think Matt, who was in the middle, possibly even Luke, but Luke would have been up for a fight anyway. They would have known that if me and Rob had come up there, then it would have been doom, much doom, I tell you. Because we would have just rampaged. So yeah, so this is it was a good walk. Our next official walk isn't until November for the main Titan Owners Club walk. So we've got some time to work and organise and prepare for said Titan walk, because that's what it's all about, baby. But yes, great times, fun, laughter, death and destruction, dice rolls to live for and to die for. So yeah. Yeah, yeah. See, the thing is, like, me and Martin, are pretty much always facing each other. I think it was only the first walk that we didn't really face each other. Didn't face each other, but all other walks. So I've been to 5 battles, because certain walks like Beachhead are a 2-day event and I only go for the 1 day. Last year's main Titan walk, I was only there for the 1 day. So I've only been engaged in 5 battles out of 4 walks, basically. So, and 3 of them I've come up face to face against Martin. Martin is a loyalist Tempestus player, but because, you know, numbers, he has to go onto the traitor side, sort of thing. So that's, you know, it would be nice, because he really wants to walk alongside Ignatum and be on the loyalist side where he really wants to be, but it never happens. Like, and actually with Martin, out of all the main walks I've done, he's been on the opposing side 4 times out of 5. No, sorry, 5 times out of 6, because that I first met Martin at the Horus Heresy Weekender, where there was a demo game of 28mm Adeptus Titanicus, and we were both there and on opposite sides, and that's where I met Martin, and been friends ever since, and facing off ever since. But yeah, it's great weekend, lots of fun, laughter, shenanigans. So it's definitely worth it, and that's the whole point of the Titan Damage Clubs, is to hang out some really cool people, and roll some dice and get great stories of renown and destruction. So yeah, so tonight, as I said, I'm going to go be here as long as my leg and back holds out. My back's not too bad, touch wood. Leg is a little bit, well, is a little bitch, as normal. So, but obviously, if it gets a little bit too much for me, I will be calling early doors, because it is not very comfortable at the best of times. Today's like I have to spend a lot of time standing up because of the sciatic nerve being such an asshole. But yes, yeah. So today I'm painting Dominion Zephon. And yes, I did take him off that poxy thing that he stands on, because I really didn't. That's the one thing I didn't like about his pose. It's like, I'm a ballerina. I'm balancing on an outcrop. So yeah, that had to go. So I took that off, cut that off carefully, and just done him with the on the base like that. Because I think even if with a jetpack, you know, assault marines can run and like just use their jetpacks, ignite into your face with that lovely sword of his as well. I'm going with the helm because I don't like the way the head looks, and for an added bonus, because Dominion Zephon is part of a little thing that I want to do, because this particular Dominion Zephon is actually my friend Matt Wingrove's, because I ordered mine on pre-order along with a Imperial Primus Psyker. Now, reason why I ordered those 2 Pacific models is that the Primus Psyker, with a little bit of maybe like green stuff on the beard, will look pretty close to how Magos Arkham Land looks like, as from the artwork from various Black Library things. So there's that. Then there's Dominion Zephon, who is probably my favourite Blood Angel character. I like obviously Sang-He's cool, but I love Zephon from Aaron's Master of Mankind. There's a scene where Ra of the Custodes goes and takes him out of the Blackstone Fortress, or the Black Fortress, or whatever, the prison where the Crusader host was held up. And they're walking through the Mahabharat around the Imperial Palace, where all the shanty towns and stuff is, and they're walking along. This Custode with his 4 meter long custodian spear and this blood angel walking through it, and these two kids come rushing through all the laundry. There's sheets hanging up on the lines where everyone's doing the laundry, and they come rushing through. Ra goes into combat mode and almost decapitates this young boy. Literally the blade stopping inches from his face, because they think Ra is the emperor because he's a tall giant in gold armor, and they go up there. Are you the emperor? And he goes, "Don't be silly." But Zephon basically takes his helmet off and goes down on one knee and talks to these kids, and just being the most decent person ever, and just saying being trying to alleviate their fears and stuff like that, and just being kind and nice and everything. And from that moment, that was my favourite Blood Angel of all time. I'm sorry. There are several other characters that come close, but that encapsulates, the two sides of, they're meant to be beautiful and noble warriors, but they have that dark, the black rage, we don't talk about it, and the red fur sort of thing. But it shows the sort of how good they can be, without fighting and being fierce and ferocious and devastatingly handsome in battle. But he just encapsulated so much, I thought, was what it was to be a Blood Angel, and it was just a beautiful scene for me, and I've loved him ever since. So yeah, unfortunately with the pre-order, I missed out. So I'm waiting for the next batch of Dominion Zephon models to turn up to fulfill my order. So this was ordered in March, and they allowed up to sort of 60 or 90 days or something. So yeah, they're somewhere. So Matt kindly gave me his one because he's not going to be doing anything with it for any time soon, and I'll give him my one once it turns up. So I just wanted to get that done because, as I said, those characters, because there's also a third character that I'm doing, and that will be this little dude, which is out of one of the AOS box thingies. I got it off of eBay, where obviously people buy the box sets and send them out. So this is going to be my Sapien, the I can't remember what the official name was. It was also a cybered monkey that Arkham Land created. Artisimian, I think it was Artisimian. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to work with him. That's the plan, at least, anyway. But yes. Right. Do some more painting. So what's going on here? Hey, Sophus. Hello. Wish you lived in the UK. Yeah, it's all right. Mouse bait. Yes. Yes. The Dorma Mouse, Master of Assassins. You have groceries now, a Reaver, and to paint and beer. I salute you. So those joining late, I shall quickly re-show. This is what I'm doing. Dominion Zephon and Sapien. That's the plan, at least. Also, as I said yesterday, I wasn't planning on being on here, but I really miss you guys, and I wanted to hang out and hobby. So I will go for as long as I can. Obviously, back and leg sciatica dependent, but yeah. But it's lovely to have you here. Yeah, we've just been talking about the walk, Sophus, because I know you're coming to the November one, aren't you? So yeah, it went really, really well, mate. Especially for me and Rob, we were on fire. We were on fire. A good couple of kills for us. So yeah, it was really fun. It was also nice seeing some of the other things that were going off, because there was also an AT tournament going on there, and campaign weekend, sorry, as well as some heresy stuff as well. And I knew other people amongst the heresy crew, so it was great to see so many faces, I haven't seen in ages and stuff. So yeah, it was a great weekend for us all, I think. Yeah, the model I'm using for Arkham Land, Rob, is the Primus Psyker, Imperial Psyker. Because if you see the artwork, there's a black and white like pencil drawing that was in one of the books of Arkham Land and Sapien. And I looked at that, and I looked at the Imperial dude, and I thought, bit of green stuff on the beard, make it a bit longer, because he's got his little pointy Van Dyke type beard. So make that longer, and you've almost got it. Obviously, you've got to scrape off some of the like Imperial sigils, maybe, maybe do a little bit of conversion work. Do the Titans actually walk? It seems like they were so close for the scale. I mean, yeah, well, that's the thing. With Titans, there are certain players that will just literally sit at the edge of the board and just bombard the hell out of you. Whereas other people, like my adopted hobby son, Luke, who has a warlord with 2 close combat weapons, he's got to move. And there was a point, like, during the game where I actually looked up, because me and Rob were at the bottom of the war zone. I looked up, and both myself and Luke were level in the centre of the battlefield. There was no other warlords at that advanced. Most warlords will sit near their deployment area and just like pew 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 pew. But that's where, like, me and Rob was utilising the scenery to hide and to get up, because that's Rob took the very brave decision to engage 2 warhounds right in front of a couple of Titans. But he came through it amazingly. He got some, he still needs to work on his reactor usage, especially like power to voids. But he came out of that doing, he kicked ass. He did kick ass, and he caused such mayhem as well. He's hilarious. Just like, oh, there's a warhound. Ah! These warlords panicking. Ah, there's a warhound right here. Well, Mouse, my dear Mouse, yes, sciatica is being an absolute cock. So yeah, as long as you're here, I'm here, and as long as I'm here, you're here. So we're all here. We're all here and sharing the hobby love. It's always a nice bunch to greet from all. Yes, I was wondering how Raptoris did. My Reaver, same build, say. Raptoris looked amazing on the battlefield. He really, I keep catching myself as I was looking at the photograph, saying, "Oh yeah, he's nice. He's looking good." New model syndrome, so he did take a lot of damage. So with the before the sort of after action destruction of the last Warhound, it was up to the +2 on the damage on the its reactor was hot as hell, because it was the amount of void rolls, and I wasn't lucky with some of the repair rolls it was making. And yeah, it's before going into the last turn we played, it was in the red. So when I was playing out the final turn, because the guy who owned the Warhound, that we left. We don't get me wrong, we could have shot it, but we left it, sort of thing. But in our chat, I don't know if you saw it, but in the group chat, he said, "I wouldn't have surrendered." Nah. So I said, "Well, if you want, I will kill it." So I did. But so we done the next turn. So I rolled dice, and like on the day, I got initiative. Raptoris done emergency repairs. Got a 4 and a 5. So no, they got 4. They got 4, 5, 6. Sorry. And instead of I didn't bother doing the shields because Vulcan Mega Bolter, the shields would be gone anyway. So I just took the reactor down because I knew that it would be better off doing that than taking the damage from the Warhound. So I put all the repair dice into the thingy, into the reactor to get it down, because these I would at least have voids to fall if need be. Not that I had voids to fall, so I don't know what I was thinking. But anyway, yeah, I just put it into reactor because I didn't want to blow up, take the body shot, because that would have been even worse. So there was that. He failed his first fire order, and then went into movement, and basically it came into the combat repair phase. It didn't get anything back. I managed to get another reactor back. I didn't get any shields. That should have took it the other way. But I didn't get any shields. I only got one reactor on that one. And it went into the combat phase, and my squadron of 2 Warhounds, basically Donna Magna, fired in, stripped the shields, and then Tacit Venatrix shot it with its plasma blast gun. Got 4 hits, one on one of the damage sort of thing, but then the other dice was 4, 5, 6, and it was already on 13 because being in a squadron +1 to armor rolls, maximal fire, and being from behind. So it was on the base of 13. So it was 17, 18, 19 crits, and basically that was it. It was dead. So yeah, it was. That's how that ended. So I claimed a kill on that because because I could. Right. Yeah, no, Mouse. Honestly, Titan Waltz. I know they had one at Adepticon, didn't they? But I think there is a guy who does the Titan Zones Club in the US branch, and they went and done a walk at the Citadel, Warhammer Citadel. So Nick, I think his name was. So yeah, they do have them over, but obviously you live in such a big country. It's just going down there for one day is a bit, it's a bit of a jaunt, to say the least. But yeah, obviously, if you're ever in England in November when we're doing a walk, or because obviously it's far in advance, pop in, come along. You'll always be welcome. We'll let you in. Could you imagine Mouse like 30,000, 3,000, 30,000 points, or 3,000 points? Heritage game with Titanic is game taking place at the same table. 30k game last weekend, my first in 3 years, and oh my god, it was so much fun. Space Force versus Loot. Oh, I'm surprised how many rules I remembered. Yes, no, that's the thing. He does come back to you. Just so people are aware, Saturday the 7th of May, which is the Horus Heresy Open Day in Warhammer World, there won't be a live stream that night because I'm there. I'm not an influencer. I was just fortunate to get a ticket. A few other people that I know are also going. So yes, we'll be up there. Hey, Sophis. Hey, dude. So yeah, we'll be up there. I depending on what happens, because as some of the people who have actually physically met me know what I'm like, and people I meet will just like start talking, and I'll get distracted, and I'll forget to upload videos or something like that. Unfortunately, with the YouTube channel, because I don't have 1,000 followers as yet, because once you hit 1,000, it opens up the ability to do like live streams via your phone or something. So until that day, because I think I'm about halfway there. I haven't checked. I don't know how many. If anyone can check how many followers I've got, I don't know. Subscribers, sorry, subscribers. So until that day that I get 1,000 subscribers, then yeah, then I'll be able to do it on my phone. So at least I can do like a live. I'm reporting in. I'm reporting in from the front lines here at Warhammer World. And then add people. Yeah, obviously I'll post up pics on the Twitter, on the Instagram, and on my Facebook. 499. Well, that's all right. You know, so for the content I put out, that's not bad. All my important subscribers are here right now. Well, there's probably a couple missing still, but yeah, it's I'm not one of those guys that will basically go, oh yeah, you got to subscribe, like, and all that sort of jazz, because I feel a little bit sort of self-conscious about that sort of thing. I'm just here to hang out and paint and chat with you guys. You keep me company as I keep you company, which is all good. All those fake accounts. Yeah, there'll be a few of us there. Yeah, we've got. I say it's just pure luck. Really, getting the tickets, and May 7th is our not so local, friendly local game store, HH Tawny as well. I'm gonna try 12.50. Ooh, yes, do it. And now, one thing I want to get on here, right? So, if anybody's having a game in the future, sort of thing, or obviously the following week before next week's, or the next week's Saturday Night Reaver, sort of thing. If you did want to say, yeah, I'm having a game on that, we don't say good luck. We say good hunting. You go out there and kick some ass. You go get a mouse on the 7th. We'll be kicking ass and chugging and all sorts of strange things, I'm sure. Are you going to be there as well, Sophus? Excellent. See? All groovy. All groovy. Yeah. So get some painting done. Good idea. Right, need to find I'm actually, you know, I'm feeling really quite infused. You know, as I said, these hobby hangouts really help me focus on doing stuff. So, ow. And you know, it's just great to chat and see what you guys and girls are up to with your hobby, because you know it's always nice to hear what others are doing, and that sort of in turn makes things all the more awesome for everybody, I find. Kill for the living, kill for the dead. So that's the thing. It's like I always thought that quote was fight for the living, kill for the dead. I don't know why, because it makes that sort of little difference between, you know, you fight for the living, kill for the dead. But yeah, no. When I looked it up again, it's exactly kill for the living, kill for the dead. That was Little Horus, wasn't it? Who used to say that with his Mourn It All, his power sword. Yeah. But yes, I was just quoting Bobby Draper and Amos from the final episode of Expanse season 6. So you don't say good luck, you say good hunting. Followed by but have fun. There you go. That's the official Saturday Night Reaver battle chant. You don't say good luck, you say good hunting, and then have fun. Yes, or something to that. It sounds good in my head anyway. That's the main thing. Right, so just putting some Mechanicum Standard onto the base of Zephon. And quickly swap over to the monkey, Sapien. It sounds like there's a party going on over. There's like a little community centre over the back in the park behind the house. So it sounds like someone's got the old speakers going and having a groovy time. I can't identify the music, unfortunately, because it's not something I recognise. Right. But anyway, what is everyone else doing this weekend? Or, you know, it's Easter weekend. You know, are people getting eggs? Are they going out rabbit hunting tomorrow? What's happening? And what are you doing with your hobby? I think I picked up the wrong paint. I did pick up the wrong paint. Or did it? No, I didn't. No, I did. Yes, no, I didn't. Picked up the right paint, but the wrong part to paint. Yeah, Mastodons, the essential Astartes delivery system. If you need something to get somewhere safe, Mastodon it. Wabbit hunting. Yeah. Duck season, wabbit season, duck season, fire! Oh, Daffy Duck. God of awesome. Oh, that sounds interesting, Sophis. Making lots of progress on my Istvan Extremist diorama. Cool. Have you posted that up anywhere? Or are you waiting until it's done? That's good. Smooth. I'm just painting the jump pack at the moment. With I'm using the Vallejo metal colour, dark aluminium, because it reminds me of bolt gun metal, which was always a good staple before lead belcher. So I just thought I'd give that a little spruce over on the metallic parts of the jump pack at least. You're highlighting them all. You're despicable. Always liked. There's a scene in Babylon 5 when Garibaldi is going around to certain people on. It was like a little humorous thing. They keep on saying like, "Hey, would you like to come to my place and see my second favourite thing?" And like people going, "No, no," and at the end, in like the end credits type thing, you see him sitting on the sofa with Delenn. This was season 1, so this is Delenn without hair, sitting there. She's like looking at popcorn, sort of thing, and he's showing her Duck Dodgers in the 24th and a half century, and he's just laughing his ass off, and she's like, what's going on? But it was also his. There was a scene where Londo was in his room, and he had a poster of Daffy Duck above his bed, and he was basically comparing it to the Centauri. Is this a household god? And Garibaldi's going, yeah, he's a god of frustration. Oh, Babylon 5, the last best place for peace. By all accounts. Oof, highlighting, yeah. My real dream at the moment is to buy a Solar Stormbird, to be honest, even above a Titan. That's a bold statement, but respected statement nonetheless. Literally carried my entire army. Yeah. Clear space for one of my wider shelves, the stage of combatants for the War Singer Ziggurat. Oh, nice. Yes. I can still see that image of that battle on there. And obviously Eidolon letting out his new adaptation, his Death Scream shenanigans. Oh my god, Lee, I was so excited to have a nerd discussion with my boss at work. Best part with both. Awesome. So that's nice when, because you don't know until somebody says something and they go, hold on a second, that's a Babylon 5 reference. And then next minute, if you like Babylon 5, you're on it. You're in it together, and you're just chatting about all those wonderful story arcs and characters from that awesome series. And just hope that Straczynski gets the opportunity to do what he wanted to do in the first place, and get the 5 seasons and get the story that he wanted to tell done. It'd be awesome. It's always awesome. Yeah, Duck Dodgers disintegrating gun. Yeah. What was Porky's name in that? It was Space Cadet, wasn't he? Duck Dodgers. and Marvin the Martian. Destroys disintegrator. Yeah, despicable. I just want to have it. We won't do much. We on sit and really look pretty. Look really pretty. Yeah. That's the thing, though. It's like some models, you just look and you can't help but just admire them. You know what goes into them to make them, and especially once you've done an epic-looking paint scheme on there as well. You just such a buzz. The best part of Duck Dodgers is where we used to watch the original Buck Rogers. We'll listen to it. I don't know if it was on the TV or if we listened to stuff on the public radio. Say that. Do you remember late 70s, early 80s, the Gil Gerard Buck Rogers TV show? Hold on. I'm going to blow up the earth. Isn't it lovely? But yeah, so the Gil Gerard Buck Rogers. I obviously most people, men in particular of our age, Wilma, who I always thought was a bit, because in the TV movie, sort of like the pilot sort of thing, I'm pretty sure that Wilma Deering was a colonel, and then in the series she's a major. But yeah, so but sorry, I digress. So in the TV series, there was this like one episode where a lot of the starfighter pilots were ill. There was some sort of virus. It was flooring them, and there was an impending attack, and they had to basically like find pilots from wherever, like previous experience or anyone who could possibly fly one of their starfighters, and like they had one guy who was sort of like a retired starfighter pilot who was actually played by Buster Crabbe, who was the original Flash Gordon, and also was the original Buck Rogers, because he played both parts. So they had him flying with the new Buck Rogers, and it was just a really nice, like, Buster Crabbe. He was in his like 70s, 80s at the time. All dressed up, flying a starfighter, and it was just a nice little like the handing over of the baton sort of thing. And yeah, it was just like it was. I did as a kid. I didn't realise this. It wasn't until I watched it several years ago. I got it on Amazon Prime for like £2.50. The whole of season 1 for £2.50 to stream basically. So I bought it and enjoyed it over again. And it was only that part. I thought, oh my god, it's Buster Crabbe. Oh my god, that's so cool. But yeah, because I always remember watching that old Buster Crabbe, Flash Gordon, and Buck Rogers. Because when I was like in England back in the sort of like early 80s, they used to show those old original black and white Flash Gordons and Buck Rogers on like school holidays, like as part of their sort of entertainment package, sort of thing. So you sit there and watch these old adventures of Buck Rogers and stuff like that. Which was just really, it was enjoyable because it was kids, so it's like, yeah, I'll watch this. It's black and white, doesn't matter. Didn't care, but yeah, such a great show. Although I did watch, I think Amazon actually had a load of the old movies on Prime, and I was watching them, and it's like, yeah, they're so cheesy, but they're still enjoyable because honestly, right? The original Flash Gordon sort of like TV movie they did sort of thing, or it might be it was serialized, but they just put it all together as a movie. And when they land on Mongo, with Zarkov and that, they've left the ship, the shuttle that they arrived on, and there's basically, oh look, we got to be careful. There's monsters over there, and it was like a rear projection. But what they had was two iguanas. Two iguanas, and they put these like little hats on them or something like that. They're like armor or horns. I can't quite remember what they put on them, but it was definitely wasn't a standard for an iguana. And the iguanas are literally just like they have a fight. And so in the foreground, you've got like the characters, and they're like it's like green screened. They're like running along, and behind are these massive iguanas just going ah, which are obviously fighting, but they're dressed up to look like alien space dragons. Oh, yeah, we had them as well in our area of the US. It was part of our local public station, that and Doctor Who. Yes. In the grim darkness of the far future, there's only captains and lieutenant commanders. Yeah, it was. I'll say if you track it down, it's in like the first sort of 20 minutes of the show when they actually end up on Mongo, and it is it is the typical sort of like special effects. But you look at it, you go, you know what? That's actually really impressive. Getting two iguanas to fight like that. Come, iguana friends, let us kill each other with our strange hats on. Yeah, they might have been a party hat. It was like make them look anything but a iguana, but you're looking at it going, it's an iguana. Obviously, iguanas probably weren't as common as a household pet for sure, but obviously these were well trained iguanas. They knew ninjutsu, karate, kung fu, taekwondo. I can't verify that they knew any of those martial arts. Yeah. Party hat wearing iguanas of doom. Trademark. Right. Oh, what? The bow itself or what's underneath it? Because the mat underneath it is a mat from Firefly Serenity, and that's the sign that's the symbol you see on the side of Firefly, but in mat form. And the bowl is there for when Sam's in the office working and the door's open. Cats and dogs come in, and she has a bowl there that they can drink out of. Was one a red shirt? Yeah. All right. Hold on a sec. Yeah, don't know which way. I think it's probably that way, or it could be that way. I think it's that way. So yeah, so it's just a little mat. I think it was like from one of those mystery boxes. Because there's loads of like in the house. There's like a Firefly paraphernalia and stuff, which I think you can see some of the posters. When I post up pictures of my kill banner, it's hanging up on the wall. It's along with these like Firefly posters. So yes, we like Firefly. But back to Zephyr. He says, I was going to say, I was trying to find something interesting to watch the other day, and I found a program on Apple TV called Severance, which looked interesting. But I've watched, well, that probably doesn't help that I was watching it late at night in bed, because I was probably drifting off and not really paying much attention to what was hell was going on. But apart from that, as I say, it's, after finishing my sort of 6th or 7th time of watching The Expanse, there's not much else on and about that I can really say that grabs my attention to watch, which has been quite disappointing, really. Because I do like to watch things on the odd occasion, like sci-fi movies and shows, but there's nothing really grabbing. Although, oh, actually, yeah, sorry. For those that weren't watching Artist Empire the other day, I had an amazing Dune news as such. Nothing to do with the movie, but audiobook wise, they've finally got the last 2 books of the original book series of Dune, because there was meant to be 7 books in total. He died after the 6th one, old Frank Herbert, and Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson found all the notes, because Brian used to help his dad with the writing, all right. So there was all these notes, and so they basically said, "Right, we'll finish it." And they so much stuff that they split it into 2 books. So it's Hunters of Dune and Sandworms of Dune. So finally, they're on Audible. So I was happy, as well as a hell of a load of the other sort of back catalogue of Dune books that Kevin J. Anderson and Brian Herbert have written. So that's going to keep me occupied for a while. But also today, Titanicus by Dan Abnett was released on Audible, audiobook / Audible. Oh, we've got to stand. So this is the first time we're in just over an hour that I've had to sort of move, because it was getting a little bit cramp. Not cramp, but achy. But yeah, so it's really quite good to finally be able to actually enjoy the final books as such of the Dune series, because Dune, again, is just one of those things that you live it. So I'm going through that. I've done several hours so far, so which is good. I hear you. I'm not over Lucifer yet, nor The Expanse, and which, yeah. All right there, Ben. Welcome. Jake Hudson. Oh my god, first time catching the stream. Oh, well, welcome. We do try to get on these streams on a regular basis, so you're more than welcome to come along, join in the chat. What are you guys up to? Are you hobbying? Are you just chilling? Or what are you doing? Yeah, sorry about the up close. I've had to stand up because this was an impromptu thing. I wasn't planning on being on tonight, but I missed everybody, and so far my back and my sciatica problems are being okay. So I thought I'd get on here and go for as long as I can before having to, disappear. But so yeah, if you do find seeing my chest, then yeah, sorry. I should have done some advertising. Okay. might have to buy that again. Yeah, it's such a good book. Yeah, I love. To be honest, like Dune is the classic it is, and then obviously the other two books of that the first, because it's basically two trilogies and a connecting book. So obviously the first three, Dune Messiah, Children of Dune. Then it was God Emperor Dune, which was the one that split the two between, but it was connecting. And then you have Heretics of Dune, Chapter House Dune, and then it was meant to be the seventh book, but then Brian and Kevin made it 7 and 8 because it was too big to finish. So yeah, but God Emperor is actually my favourite, which gets a lot of sort of like negativity about it because it's the biggest one, but because it's not, it's so far removed from Dune. But if you take it as part of the bigger picture, it makes perfect sense. What happens in there sets up the rest of the thing brilliantly. So you have to look at that overall picture, I think. But God Emperor's Dune is my favourite, followed by Heretics and Chapter House. Because I like the characters they have in there. There's some really cool characters. The Bashar, Miles Tegg is just amazing. Right, sorry, catch up with the chat. What's going on, right? Yeah, I've got around chapter 14 done on Titanicus audiobook done today, painting Invicta Titans at the same time. Excellent, dude. Oh, yes. Love your House Divine Knights. Might be a house of choice for my 84s. There is, I did do a couple of tutorial videos of how I paint my House Divine, which is in the painting demos section of my YouTube channel. So they're handy, because I was literally like painting one and then sort of showing the different stages as I paint through them. So yeah, there's 3 videos about House Divine, and they are fairly straightforward to do, to be fair. And once you've broken it, it's just so easy to replicate, and you'll just whiz through them. So yeah, welcome to House Divine. Yes, Titanic is on audio. Yes, it is, Sophis, because I started reading the book. I never got to finish the book, and my book is somewhere, and I haven't gone back to it. But now I have it on audio. But I'm listening to Hunters of Dune first, so I've still got about 15 hours. It's 20-hour long, so I've got about 15 hours left of Hunters of Dune, because I drive to and fro work an hour each way, so it doesn't take me long to go through an audiobook of that length. And then I'll go on to Titanicus, and then I'll finish off with Sandworms. I can safely say the magnets I have done for the Carapace weapons on my Warlord keep breaking and having to be re-glued back on. Really? What are you using? Are you using Gorilla Glue, or what are you using? Because I very rarely, obviously the amount of times I've made, I think I've only ever had 2 incidents where magnets weren't secured by the glue. So it might have just been down to either a dodgy batch or it was cold. I don't know. God Emperor is one of my faves. It wasn't when I was younger, first read, because I was young. Yeah, exactly. It is so sort of like so much goes on in there, but when like again listening to it on audiobook as well, all the nuances that are happening there, and the story of Leto the Second is such a great character, because of what he's trying to do. And I love the fact that obviously we all know that 40k heresy or whatever has taken bits from the Dune books, and that's why I'm a loyalist, because of my knowledge of what Leto II is trying to do with the Golden Path, because it's basically what the Emperor is trying to do in a lot of ways. I have a nice Procon via Trapos Knight cutting clean on through House Divine Armiger. Oh. You can be so horrible sometimes, Rob. Don't let Ivy know that she loves House Divine. Gorilla Super Glue. I've read Titanic 7 or 8 times. It's just never run for you. Yeah, so I've never finished it. I've got. I think the last part I remember was involving Callie Samstag with her recruitment program of PDF and engaging, I think, some Skitarii or something. So it was only halfway. It was before I know that there's something happens and it goes bonkers. But yeah, so that's as far as I got in the book. So audio books, I haven't really. Well, the last books I read would be Titan Death and Spear of the Emperor, because I bought them at the one of the last Black Library weekends I went to. They're the last books I read and finished. I did start reading. Did I? I don't think I did. Actually, at the same time, I bought Korak's book and I haven't read it. I started listening to the audiobook. I haven't finished it. Yeah, maybe the magnet has not got enough area for the to glue onto. I'll glue it and then put more glue on top. It will reduce the pulling power, but it will hold together in place. There's so much to glean from the book about Later the Second that you just have to reread many times to get more. Yeah, exactly. You'll say there's such nuance with his character, and even in the later books when they're talking back about Later the Second and him being a tyrant and all that sort of stuff. But unless you read that book and take it in, what's actually going on, and you say he's, I don't want to spoil books, but yeah, he's. I love it because it's so different, and it is such a bridge book between the original trilogy and the second trilogy. And I said, everything that happens in the second trilogy, I absolutely love. So like Miles, Teg, Duncan, the Gola, Duncan obviously, and the sisters like Dario Drade as one of the POV characters, just brilliant. Just loved it all. Mabella. No, I know I haven't. I know. I know stuff that goes on because a lot of my friends who are Black Library buddies, because as I was saying to Ben in one of our hobby chats elsewhere, the Titan that is known as Morbius Sire, is a character that is named for a friend of mine. She is a Warhound Titan, and it's just who wouldn't want to be a Titan? That was something we were saying the other day, wasn't it? Because in the old Discord, we had a little impromptu hangout the other day, and that came up was basically if you could be in the Heresy or 40k. So this is to everyone in the chat. If you could be in the Grimdark or the 30k, 40k universe, what would you want to be as your occupation, or what would you want to be in if you was in that universe? I obviously chose to be a Titan Princeps because at least I'm comfortable as such, and you can survive a lot of shit. No, I haven't. Yeah, because they're the 40k ones, aren't they? Because there's Warlord and there's Imperator, so I haven't got round to those ones as of yet. Because was it Gav Thorpe did those ones? I think. Yeah, that scene, is that the one with the Reaver? Hello, Hobbs. H. Hobbs heresy. Rogue Trader, yeah. Princeps for sure, yeah. Well, it's you know, I was actually surprised because obviously we all know like Space Marines can live indefinitely, barring injury. But if you've got enough rejuvenate, you can normal humans can live for a very long time because there is a character. It's the Sidon, who is the Princeps Maximus of Legio Ignatum, and he has been Princess Maximus of the Legio for 10 centuries, and just a Princeps for the same amount of time. So that indicates he's over 2,000 years old. So, and he's still walking about. He's not in an immersion tank or anything like that. He's still walking about, kicking ass and taking names. Ba, 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 ba. We've got a war on our faces. When did it ever stop us? Full stride. Yeah, with the Reaver, yeah. Oh, David Annandale did Warlord and Imperial Hunters. Yeah. Nearly as awesome as when it was all female. Yeah, they were awesome. They still are. I always like the thing about in Titan Death when they said that the Imperial Hunters had the third best kill death ratio out of the Legios. Because then it makes you wonder, well, who are the other two? Yeah, Sidon was a bit awesome. Life as all must be fun. 6% you can really Jesus. Cat cuddles and that heat, no thank you. So partly standing because of sciatica, but also so I can actually see what I'm painting. because I'm actually using contrast paint here. That's so yeah. So as I warned you, there will be just a gratuitous tummy action throughout this stream. He says. Hey, hello, Ravenlord. What books was side on? Yeah, there you go. Sophis is on that, so that's all right. Bengals are very active and talk a lot. I'm considering getting one, but after reading up on them, I'm not sure if I'm ready for another child. Legio Volpa from Titan Death I found really cool, especially the precepts we follow. Yep. Yeah, no, say it really did. It was really nice in Titan Death to actually see how different Titan Legios can be against each other. So obviously Imperial Hunters with their background, because it was really cool to see that the background that they had, their origins and everything. But by the same token, you know, Legio Volpa, you know, how they went about things, you just think, wow, and that was like obviously pre-falling as well. They were right sort of, you know, murderous badasses. So it was quite you know, a clash of cultures between Volpa and Imperial Hunters. But it was the whole thing about, you know, how they go about things, you know, improving the gene stock, you know, and mingling between Titan Legios and stuff like that, and how that sort of played into the whole story as well. So yeah, I really, I said, Titan Death, one of my favourites. That and Mechanicum, one of the best sort of like heresy books for me as a, you know, Titan head, because it was so different what happens in those books compared to, you know, Space Marines running around beating the crap out, snot out each other. You don't have the space for a Bengal either. No. I wonder if I can ask Kirioth to make me a Cornate Titan with a chain axe. Well, I'm sure he would oblige, obviously, if you approach him in the right manner. Right, stretch it out. That's the thing. I spend a lot of time having little stretches of the old sciatic nerve, which is, you know, the downside of sciatica is that, yeah, it's literally quite a pain in the arse. So I've got to do some touching up of the Mephiston. Mephiston! Yeah, that's why I liked about Mechanicum, was that, you know, seeing what goes on between the different sort of factions on Mars. Some of the other books as well have been quite, even like short stories like Myriad, which is a very short story. It's very interesting with what happens in Myriad, because that has a knock-on effect later on with the book series in particular, but obviously what happens with Mars and everything. So just doing some touch-up bits. And realised that I may have missed some bits as well. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was sort of. Well, no, it's not. The Fabricated General wasn't doing it. It was like one of these obscure cults, which got mentioned elsewhere, and it was one of their creations, and it programming. It got loose and was affecting. Well, effectively sort of hunting down corrupt code, Qatari and stuff. So it's very Puritan, or puritanical, because they had their own ideas of what was, you know, what a true Martian sort of construct should be, and the robot was adhering to those precepts, basically. If it didn't conform, it died. So what was this archetype for Mechanicum stuff? But yeah, so if basically if he was tainted in any way, the killbot would just exterminate with extreme prejudice, because it's not conforming to the archetype of what it was to be Martian construct, basically. Because that thing also appears in I'm not sure if Cybernetica was first and then it was Myriad. So I think that might be it. So Cybernetica follows on from that. So I think Mechanicum. Then you could do the short story Vorax, which is about a Vorax, surprisingly. Then Cybernetica, and then Myriad. So that's the 4. So because the last 2 definitely connect because of certain robot involved. Vorax is independent, but it does sort of show what sort of things that are going on during the Civil War on Mars that involves a Vorax. So yeah, when we do our walks, it is literally just taking Titans. On the very first Tyrannus Owners Club muster, which was the 8th of February in 2015, when myself, my friend Scott Charnock, and I met Benjamin Greaves for the first time. And we put on a little display of our Tyrannus Knights along with Iracundus and all my AdMech I had at the time. So we had this in the gaming table in the at the Horus Heresy Weekender, which had like it was the Forge World balls. We had all like the Mechanicum type Forge World stuff, Realm of Battle boards. So we set up all our knights and my Titan and all my Cybernetica stuff. So like Phalax, Castellax, the Krios thingy, and whatever else I had. Krios Venator, sorry, I had. So that's the only time I've ever put them with it. I do have quite a lot of Secutari, which, if I wanted to, I could field at the same time. I had fielded some hoplites alongside Iracundus at one. I was at the Cadia Falls event thing, campaign weekend doodah, when 8th edition. In January after 8th edition, when they started doing like the Rise of the Primarch and all that sort of stuff. So I had the hoplites in a Stormlord super heavy tank, and they got the best kill I've ever managed to pull off, which is they jumped out the Stormlord and shot an Eldar Revenant Titan with their hoplite lances, which inflicted about 20 haywire hits. The Revenant blew up. It basically rolled 6s. It blew up, and then it literally, the explosion threw it, and it landed amongst an entire Eldar war host, and doing a D-damaged massive template type thing. Literally wiped out another sort of 2,000 points of Eldar. So they earned their points cost that day. But yeah, it was just unbelievable. It was just like, boo, boom, and flip, and tuck, and splat, and killed lots and lots and lots. I missed a lot of these. I'm guessing I have to look through my stories. We do have knights, yes. Knights do turn up. That's awesome. It was one of the cool things described in Warlord, with the Secretary Hoplites support and defending the Titans and Gribbly attackers. Yes. There's I can't remember the name of it. There is a special HQ for Secretary, who's basically the character used to be a Secretary squad leader, and because they took part in a defense of either like a fallen Titan. So when a Titan falls, they head over there, surround it, defend it from anyone trying to get on board and stuff like that. And if any of these secretary squad leaders, alphas, perform particularly well, they get promoted to this position, and they get a special set of armor issued to them, which is made from the armor of the Titan they was defending. And basically, this armor they have still has an echo of the war spirit within it. And so these guys are like Secretari, but their stats are increased to like that of Astartes. It's just brilliant. And I just like the idea that they're wearing bloody like haunted armor, or war spirit infused armor. So just awesome. I do wish that we could use big squadrons, tank squadrons, and all that. Oh, but it would be too much. It was, yeah, that's the thing. Unless you was playing this game over the course of a few days, that's when it would get really, really silly. Because of the amount of pieces on the table. Also, moving stuff would be very, very dangerous as well, because all those small bits, like it's mental enough trying to move Titans and not hit anything when you've got lots of infantry running around. Although it would be, it would look the nuts. It would just be too dangerous an environment to be doing that sort of stuff, which is a shame. But a Titan falling onto said models, or you kicking a load of models, or squashing a lot of models, it's not good. It's not what I would want happening to me on my stuff. I doubt it'll happen for a good long while, because Space Marines are always first and it should be for HH. But I have hopes that eventually getting some actual Takamata force without having to buy Forge World. Well, I said apart from the hoplites and the the other dudes with the carbines, Peltas, they are based on obviously their upgrades, aren't they? Sort of thing. So you got to buy this plastic Skitari and then the upgrades. But yeah, I've got I think about 30 hoplites and about 20 Pelstas. Plus, in Heresy, you can actually have Rangers and Vanguard technically. So I used any spare parts I had on some converted Cadian bodies as like a tech guard to represent sort of like trainee Skitari. Luke! Come home, Luke! Hello, welcome. Yeah, no, I can't remember the actual official title of what this character is. There isn't a model for it as yet. But yeah, the Skitari, the Secretary command dude. If anybody can actually look in the HH book and find out what the name of it, because it's now bugging the crap out of me. The Secretary. It begins with an A. That's such annoyance. Has a mounted Pelstas, converted some raiders with Peltas bodies and heads. Cool. Yes. Yeah, no, as I say, I had to have quite a lot of because I do have quite a large selection of Cybernetica. I think I've got about 18 Thalax, 3 Thanators, 1 the siege one with the big las cannon type thing, 6 Castellax, 3 Domitar, Vulturax, one of them. I think I have about 12 of the Skylax defense Guardian Automata dudes, you know, the squiddies. Then, yeah, loads of Skitari. Fair amount of Skitari. So it's a decent sized force. Plus, obviously, I can throw knights in there as well, if need be, to support the dudes and dudettes. Awesome. Thanatar Duder is one of my favourites. Oh, yeah, no, Thanatar. I have, ever since they first came out, I love Thanatars. The plasma mortars is just the most sickest thing ever, because of the rule where plasma wave. So any saved rolls have to be re-rolled. that's so nasty. Although the last time I actually played them, I actually went up against my mate, and he was using his Space Wolves, and because I don't play Space Wolves, I don't know, and I know they've got lots of, like, you know, special stuff and rules and whatever, and he had this group of Fenrisian wolves, of about 20 strong Fenrisian wolves, and he had like an Iron Priest on a bike. And I'm shooting these things with my plasma mortars, and he's going, I'm going to take it on my Iron Priest dude, or whatever it was, Wolf Priest on a bike. And he's going, oh yeah, so it's a 2+ invulnerable. So I thought, wow, okay, must be one of these like special fucking wolf token things or whatever. And I just couldn't kill anything. He was like making the saves. I was like, oh my god, surely, like, after like 2 turns of shooting all these bloody walls with plasma mortars, surely something should be dying, but nothing, no. And then he realised, oh, sorry, yeah, it's not a 2+ invulnerable, it's a 4+ invulnerable. It's a 2+ armour save he had, but it was 4+ invulnerable save. Yeah. And once we worked that out, yeah, they started dying. But they were very close. But then, oh, hello. I just spent the time blowing them up and shooting them, and yes, it was fun. I keep turning around. Flipping Space Wolves. Well, that's the thing. I have no idea. I don't go out buying rule books for each army, so I have no idea. And like my mate, he's not one of those guys that cheats, but he obviously gets confused or mistaken, which he did at that case. But yeah, he gives feel no pain to all the others, and my friend rolled really, really well. Yeah. Oh. That's the thing. It's like, eventually I just said, I can't believe he's got a 2+ invulnerable save, and that's just sick. He goes, oh no, he hasn't got a 2+ invulnerable save. Sorry, I've got that wrong. Archaeotech. No, that's the name of the weapon. Because I was thinking, oh damn it. I think there's an X in it. The name of the Titan Guard dude. Yes. it's all fun and games. I just trust who I'm playing because I can't be bothered. I barely know my rules. Yeah, it's Gravity seems to have its own. I'm trying to stay on point. Yeah. So as you can tell, I'm not having the greatest of times here. So I'll give it a few more minutes. I'm gonna have to go because I am starting to ache a little bit now. But I'm gonna look up what the hell that bloody thing is now. It's not. No, I'm thinking like because now I'm getting confused with like Autark. It's not an Autark. It's bloody Titan Guard. I'll try Titan Guard 40k. Secretary. Secretary, Auto Reductor. Axiarch. It's an Axiarch, everybody. It's a Secretary Axiarch is in the field. Larger Secretary forces are commanded by officers known as Axiarchs, perhaps unsurprising for such an obscure and arcane organisation as the Adeptus Mechanicus. The process of selection of becoming an Axiarch involves more than just merely rewarding meritorious service and recognition skill on the battlefield. Without exception, Secretary Axiarchs undergo further cybernetic augmentation to the point that very little flesh remains, becoming stalwart, unflinching, and nearly indestructible warriors who have little in common with unaugmented humans. But yeah, they're the guys that are rewarded for where they're defending a fallen titan, that they get issued with a special suit of armor made from the armor plates of said titan with war spirit imbued into it. So yeah, it's getting really bad now. So yeah, it's hello MZ, hello. Yeah, you found Exion. Yeah, so you found it as I found it. All right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Sorry. Right. Yeah. Sorry. I am going to call it because I just cannot get comfortable now. The back is now starting to kick in as well. So, as I said, it was an impromptu. Maybe I shouldn't, and it is against medical advice that I came out here, but I needed to because I would have been doing my head in, not being able to see you guys and hang out and stuff. So thank you for hanging out again. I did very little painting as I did last time. I don't think I did very much painting. And yeah, I hope you're all good and you'll have a great weekend of chocolatey goodness if you're into eating lots of chocolate with Easter and everything. And yes, hopefully next week I will be much better. He says. I am trying to take it easy, and I'm doing my stretches and taking pain relief as much as possible. But that's the problem with backs and sciatica. It's not very very nice. But yeah, thank you all for joining us. Sorry it couldn't have been longer, but it's like, well, have you seen me spinning on chairs? You know it's not good. But yeah, so everyone be cool, be groovy, happy hobbying, and good hunting, and more importantly, have fun. So until next time, this is me Oh, I'm going. I can't do this anymore. Sorry. Um, yeah, sorry. I feel bad now. Um, yeah. Um, yeah, love you all, and I hope to speak to you all again soon at some point. Teddy bears.